Start.
Recording in progress.
Okay, we're gonna have a call order to start the meeting of the Planning Advisory Commission for May 18th, 2026. Roll call, please.
Jeff Carey,
Here.
Aaron Hillsberger,
Here.
Randy Lewis,
Here.
Cynthia Sun,
Here.
and Isaiah Johnson is it.
Okay, thank you. So we have a quorum. Approve the minutes of the April 20th, 2026 meeting. I entertain a motion.
I'll second that.
I said, Eric, oh, somebody's gonna make the motion.
I'll make the motion. You can second it.
Okay, I'll second it. Thank you.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on the minutes from the last meeting? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Those opposed? Passed. The agenda, the approval of the changes, or if there's any to the agenda for the commission and staff for this evening. Any changes? Any updates? Any subtractions? Hearing none, I'll entertain. You know.
I'll move to approve the lack of changes to agenda by commissioners or staff.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Oh, I jumped the gun on the conflict of interest. So, oh no, I didn't. That was the, make sure we had a quorum. Anyway, conflict of interest. Anybody? Nope, for tonight's subjects?
No.
I have none. Okay, next meeting is June 15th, 2026. And how's that look for everybody's schedule?
I might be in New Mexico, but I'll be able to chime in on Zoom.
Give you?
Yeah, I'm cool. I think.
Okay.
As far as I know, I'm gonna be here.
Okay.
If you're out of the country, yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Because I tried to zoom in from Norway. And I couldn't, because you have to, in a foreign country, you have to set it up.
I'm gonna be in New Mexico State.
Oh, okay.
Okay, moving along. Committee reports and staff.
So I was just going to mention, because you mentioned the schedule, we may not have a meeting in June because the development regs aren't going to be ready by then. We may have one if we have a rezone request or something like that, but development regs is probably going to be more like July.
Okay.
And then
Go ahead.
you want me to talk about the
Sure.
the PAC member. So they were going to brief or at their scheduled briefing meeting interview, but he wasn't feeling good, and so he had to leave before they interviewed. And then Mariah and I were just talking. We haven't heard on the next briefing won't be until June 2nd because they didn't have one today, and then of course next Monday is a holiday. So hopefully it's June 2nd, they'll do the interview. And then we'll have more of a chance of having a quorum more regularly.
Appreciate it. I have one thing. I noticed here in a week or two, they're having a hearing on that, adjusting the zoning regs, like for the RR3 or R2.
Yeah, for Allen and Belfair.
Right.
Yep.
I noticed the one item we discussed with the increasing the setback in the front yard did not make it in.
Oh, thank you. Let me write that down.
You weren't here, but or maybe you were here. I can't remember now.
I wasn't here at the last one.
That was the commission approved it, but I brought up the issue that on setbacks and driveways, if you only have 10 feet, that puts the vehicle in the sidewalk. And so we compromised and came up with 15 feet.
Okay.
Which matches some of the other districts in the area too, so. Okay, anyway, you make note of that, right?
Yes, but I have to go to my car, get my glasses.
Fair, we'll keep going. Okay, other business, if any.
Heather, we had the update to the regular meeting time, so probably some stuff that I can.
Okay.
So last month we had talked about, we had, as staff talked about wanting to update the time that we're having these meetings to be earlier than 6 o'clock. And we were, talking about 4:30 or 5, depending on what kind of worked best for you. We did decide as staff 5 works best for us. And that we don't actually need to change the bylaws because it's not in there. We can just brief the Board of County Commissioners and have them approve the time change. So as long as you guys are okay with it and you all agree on the time to move it to, we can do that.
Will that affect the availability of public comment? People might still be at work.
Doing it at 5, I think will kind of negate that, but also being on Zoom, written comment, there's so.
Okay,
I'd vote for 5.
I was game either way. I mean, it matters not one way or the other. It seems like no matter what, something comes up one way or the other, so. The only thing I was, again, the public, as far as public testimony, but there is, compared to when the PAC was originally created and today, there's just a heck of a lot more ways, especially with Zoom,
okay.
To get to, on people's phones and the whole 9 yards to get to it. So I'm game for whatever the commission decides. I'm more on keeping it on an even number, hour versus.
Yeah.
5 o'clock would work with me.
Yeah, and if it turns out people start complaining because they work later, we can always think about changing back,
Okay.
but the vibe I have is most people are been working 4:30.
Okay.
Any thoughts from here?
I agree with 5.
Okay, so do you need a motion?
I don't think so. Just kind of the consensus that that's gonna work for all of us, then we'll go ahead and brief the board.
Okay, so, but by next meeting, if the board, if it hasn't been briefed and okayed, it would still be 6 o'clock.
Yes, I will make sure to update you.
Okay.
For sure, for the next meeting of what that's going to be.
Yeah, and I'll be able to brief on June 2nd.
Okay,
And so
Oh.
presumably, yeah.
okay,
And then if we do have a June PAC meeting, we should start at 5, but Mariah will let you know when you see the packet or that we're not gonna meet till July.
okay,
I'll try to make it very clear.
appreciate it, thanks. Okay, item 2, public comment. This is for the public to comment on anything that's not on the agenda. Both here in the audience and on Zoom. And I'm not, it's the only one, new ones on Zoom. Anybody in the audience have anything to comment? Back. Okay. Hearing none, we'll move on to the public hearing, item number 3. This is the rezone of 2.26 acres of parcel number 32030-25-90030. And I'll let Cal or whoever's gonna give us an update on.
That'll be me. I'll just go over here. Okay, so rezone for Salazar, Renee Salazar, and the is representative here in the room. Rezone is the 2.26 acres of the 10.75 acre lot from mixed use to general commercial. And the proposal of storage and sorting of natural brush materials and potential for retail, so possibly in the future on the site. The applicant already submitted a non-project SEPA, and staff still supports a determination of non-significance for that. They submitted that back when they rezoned for from neighborhood residential mix. So we're not requiring them to do another SEPA. The proposal likely has less impact than that original proposal. No comments have been received by us regarding the rezone, and then you can see in the staff packet that the neighboring parcels within 300 feet have been mailed notices and the property was posted. And then you'll see here on the screen, here's a zoning map. You'll see the commercial zoning here down highway. And then this is the subject parcel right here, which is the current mixed use zoning. So they are proposing general commercial, and while the general commercial zoning is admittedly more retail oriented than the light manufacturing use that's being proposed, the rezone is still the most practical and compatible solution for the site. The property is located within the Shelton urban growth area, and one of the primary purposes of the urban growth area is to provide flexibility for a range of urban level commercial, employment, and residential uses. And where infrastructure and services already exist and can be efficiently provided. The urban growth areas are specifically intended to accommodate evolving economic needs and changing market realities. And the zoning framework should be flexible enough to allow that transition while still remaining consistent with the comprehensive plan and the surrounding development pattern. The proposed general commercial zoning also acts as an appropriate middle ground. It is consistent with the nearby commercial, if you look on that map. And then those commercially zoned properties along the Olympic Highway South, and avoids introducing a more intensive commercial industrial designation adjacent to these residential areas to the south, and the city of Shelton, which is delineated by that dark black line border there. At the same time, it provides enough flexibility to accommodate the proposed warehousing, processing, and storage and shipping operations proposed. And importantly, the proposal is actually, I think, less impactful than the applicant's. The original request we got back a couple of years ago for the mixed retail concept, because it removes the customer-oriented retail component that would have generated more daily vehicle trips and activity there. The project will be relatively screened from the surrounding properties due to existing topography and required buffering. And staff found the proposal consistent with the Mason County Comprehensive Plan, the Growth Management Act, and all 8 of the rezone criteria under 1705 80 Section A. And with rezoning only 2.26 acres, it also preserves the remaining 8.5 approximately for future mixed use or residential opportunities. And that maintains the long-term flexibility for the property and the community. Ultimately, the proposal reflects exactly the type of adaptive and appropriately scaled urban development that urban growth areas are intended to support. And it is why staff is recommending approval of the request presented by the applicant. You also see here in relation to the city, the site is located down here to the south in a little bit of urban growth area. And then the applicant provided, the representative provided a map here that shows how that 2.26 acres would be delineated on the site. Existing access as well. And then elevation of the proposed building. And with that, I do not have anything else to say. If you guys have any questions, we also have, like I said, to have the applicant and the representative here as well.
Hey, commission members, questions for staff?
Is this the one I read somewhere, the Scotsons had some kind of issue with the water? Is that on this one?
So in the original SEPA, they commented on the original SEPA and they had questions about water. And at the time, there wasn't a project proposal, so there wasn't anything to evaluate yet. So we had to kind of communicate that to them, that this was a non-project SEPA for the rezone only, and the project hadn't been. Yes.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I kind of got into the website there and compared the uses for mixed use and general commercial, and they're pretty similar, it seemed like. So I don't have a problem with it.
A question, in the original short plat that was filed, there was a number of well locations, and I noticed like on this one, there's only one. And is it actually only now one versus what the original? Or do we know?
I do not know.
The short plat done like, well, I don't see a date right at the moment.
As far as I'm aware, there's only one well.
Okay. So, also like was consideration, as far as, you know, where your location of like the shop or the warehouse you're looking at, I don't see any issue there. But the question is, I noticed at least on the original plat, on the other parcel, it's not part of this rezone. They have a well pretty close to the property boundary. And so I don't know if, in other words, I didn't see any sanitary setbacks or anything recorded of that nature, other than that one short plat filed back in. Can't read it. Is that, oh, 93.
So what's the question now? or what?
Question is, I mean, you know, I see, and I don't have any problem with the fact of rezoning. The question is, are we getting them bound in here with these other wells? You know, in other words, is that, you know, part of the consideration? In other words, the lot, so looking at the parcel in this area here, in the old, in the 1993 short plat filing, which was adopted, they show a well right here. So it's like right in the, you know, it's in the road of one, a driveway of one, and it encroaches also on the driveway of the other parcel to service their building. I mean, it's somebody taking the time just to make sure that we're not, you know, binding them in so they can't do things.
I assume that, you know, under the pre-app, that environmental health has talked to them about whatever concerns they would have about the wells, but it doesn't impact
Okay.
us.
To me, you know, going forward, it just seemed like, you know, we should show these areas where the, you know, wells encroach on other people's property. Especially when they have unequipped.
Related to rezones?
Well, I mean, but you're gonna, if they can't, if they, for example, say when you look at all the setbacks, you find out they can't do something, and yet you went through this whole process.
They did have a pre-application conference prior to the rezone about the project in its
Okay.
entirety, and so those, I
So
mean,
those,
not through our department, but through our environmental health
Okay.
department, they were present and would have provided them with any notes that would have cautioned them about.
yeah, no issue then. Just making sure those types of things are addressed.
Yeah.
And we don't have our other member. So, okay, any other questions for staff?
No,
So what, sorry, what? Seems like mixed and commercial are similar. What is it you can do with a commercial zoning that you can't do with mixed? Well, I mean, why are they doing this?
I
Which
think
maybe already,
the mixed has to have a residential component.
was,
You have to have a residential component to it if you're gonna have a commercial.
okay. So that's a requirement you don't have once they're commercial. Okay, got it, thank you.
Okay.
And that was contemplated when we made the change to mixed use. Or to, but,
Well, public testimony here, just like, anything else from commission? Any other commission? Okay, now you can have public testimony, please. If you- Yeah,
I mean, there
yes, please.
really don't have much to say.
Just announce name and,
Len Williams, I'm an architect, and I was just saying that when the original mixed use rezone was done, it was done with the idea that there would be residential on the property, and there's still probably will be on the part that's not being rezoned now. But the part that's being rezoned now will not have residential associated with it. And so that became important in the process to kind of identify the area where the commercial activity would happen versus the whole site.
Okay, super, thank you. Any other public comment on the project? And it doesn't mean you have to comment or anything, it just, if you have something else you wanted to add to it, we appreciate it, so. Okay. And none on, I'll put it on Zoom. Okay, so I'll close the public comment, go to PAC deliberations, recommendation.
I have no problem with this rezoning.
Then I'll entertain a motion.
I will put forward a motion to approve of the rezoning of 2.26 acres of parcel 32-030-25-90-030 within the Shelton UGA from mixed use to general commercial.
Second.
No, you can second.
It's been moved and seconded.
I'm feeling generous tonight.
Sorry. No problem. Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Okay. The second part. So if you want to stay, great. If you don't, no problem. No harm in leaving.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, no, that's Tuesday. Right? So June 1st, it's June 1st. I keep saying second, Island. Yeah, it's June.
Okay, for this second item in a public hearing. Rezone.
I get the old school way.
This is for the parcel number.
Yep.
4200, excuse me, 42022-42-00050. Take it away, please.
Hello, Cal Rowan with Mason County Community Development. So this is a rezone of 5.39 acres from rural commercial 2 to RR10. The assessor's office contacted us about this just for tax purposes, and they inquired if it could be rezoned to the residential use. So it's currently being used as residential use. I think back in the day, there was, I want to say, like a feed store or something. I'm not quite sure, but that hasn't existed for quite a while, and it remains in residential. And so we just brought it forward without the applicants or
Okay, so that's,
via the assessor's office, but it's really a
so that's why I said,
county proposal.
okay, so that's why I said county, because I was looking for the applicant.
Yeah,
Okay. got it.
yeah, yep. And so it's kind of in concert with the assessor's office. And so this technically is a down zone. And I really didn't think it's much more than that. It's almost like it's not a correction, but it's similar to
It's
correcting
kinda like
what it's being
correcting.
used as, yeah.
Sounds like you're formalizing something that's already going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Correcting and formalizing. That's the,
That's it.
any
The
questions,
down zone.
any questions for staff? Any public comment? Zip, and zip. Okay, and for the famous PAC deliberations.
I don't have a problem with it.
Nope.
Okay, hearing none, then entertain a motion.
Put forward a motion to rezone partial 42022-42-0050 within rural area from rural commercial 2 to rural residential 10.
Any further, just a second?
Well, if you really want to, go ahead. Okay, I'll second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion carries. And now we're gonna have what was known as one of the world's quickest PAC meetings.
Seriously.
I know. Way to go.
I have one question for staff. Looking at that, rezone, the first rezone we did, I noticed that there's a number, several parcels on the southeast side of Highway 101. They're like divided, where half the parcel is commercial and half the parcels, rural neighborhood residential. Those seem like they should be cleaned up one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, if you were to scan the entire county at a parcel level and zoning level, you're gonna find, because zoning, when it was first implemented, was done prior to the parcel layer it was done prior to GIS and prior to the parcel level. And I think they probably just, Highway 3, let's zone this portion, why they didn't.
Yeah, and I meant Highway 3, I said 101, but I meant Highway 3, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So there's quite a bit of that. And as things come up, that's when we will do rezones. And Marissa and we've tried to be really consistent on when we bring it forward as a county request to rezone, like I did for the one through the
Right.
assessor's office, and other times where it's driven by the owner itself and what have you. And we look at parcel history, when it got zoned, did it mean to be zoned that way? Did it intend for the entire parcel, or did they, and so on a parcel by parcel, project by project level, otherwise we don't find it a priority to go through and look and look for parcels like this and go, oh, if it were a problem, like it was years ago around Lake Cushman area, there was a lot of weird things going on. And so we made the effort to look at a parcel level, but it was just Cushman specific. So we did that and fixed things, but stuff like this, we just will wait for project, for issues to arise. Because it's just, it's like a resource issue.
Yep.
If we had lots of staff and things for people to do, it's like, you know what you could be working on?
There.
And we do not have that luxury.
Okay, I just, see it, so it's like, okay, why?
Yeah, but it just kind of predates GIS.
Okay, any other things for staff?
Nope.
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
Moved and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
I did it by 6:28.